In this lecture, we are going to explore a repository created by the WordPress team for learning block development. In the resource section of this lecture, I provide a link to a repository called Gutenberg Examples. If you're a beginner developer, you might want to check out this repository for developing blocks. Blocks do not need to be developed with additional tools. Throughout this course, we've been relying on JSX for writing HTML in a JavaScript file. However, you may not like JSX. If that's the case, you can stick to plain JavaScript. Inside this repository, WordPress will provide examples with and without JSX for the same block. For example, the first two blocks are called Basic and Basic ES Next. The ES Next version will contain JSX, whereas the other folder will be written with vanilla JavaScript. Let's take a look at the vanilla JavaScript solution. Inside this directory, open the block.js file. Creating a block without help is vastly different than what we're used to. Keep in mind, this is a basic example. If you were to look at other blocks without JSX or Webpack, the code might be different. Let's quickly review this file. Everything is wrapped with an immediately invoked function. As the name implies, functions can be invoked immediately after it's been defined. It's a very old technique. In most cases, you shouldn't need to invoke your own functions. However, if you plan on developing blocks without tools, you may need to do so. At the bottom of the function, we are going to find the values passed on to the function. Believe it or not, most of WordPress's packages are available as global variables. A variable is considered global if it can be accessed anywhere. The packages can be found under the WP object. Inside this object, we can reference a specific package by its name. In this example, we are grabbing the blocks, i18n, element, and block editor packages. Inside the function, the example is using these packages to build a basic block. At the top of the function, functions are extracted from each package without destructuring. Moving on, if we look at the return value of the edit or save functions, the elements are created with a function called element. This variable was created above. If we look at the variable definition, the variable is a shorthand for the element.createElement function. Hold on a moment. Aren't Gutenberg blocks created with React components? So why aren't we using the React.createElement function? The WordPress team is concerned with backward compatibility. React is not developed by WordPress. It's an independent project by Facebook Meta. If Meta decides to change React, thousands of block plugins will become incompatible. To avoid this issue, WordPress has created a wrapper around the createElement function with its own createElement function. Behind the scenes, we're using the React.createElement function with the wp.element.createElement function. However, if the React API changes, we won't need to update our code. It'll become WordPress's job to handle the transition for us. Thus, we can continue developing blocks with the same code while taking advantage of the latest features in React. At the end of the day, it's not something you'll have to worry about if you're using WordPress's official toolset for building blocks. Most of the heavy lifting is taken care of for you. With that being said, you're more than welcome to explore the other blocks for learning block development. Otherwise, let's continue building blocks together. I'll see you in the next section.